My name is Tim McGourthy. I'm the Chief Development Officer for the City of Worcester. I'm here on behalf of City Manager Michael O'Brien. And we appreciate you coming out here to what we definitely consider the diamond here in the heart of Worcester, and a diamond that really does owe credit to Mark, Paul, and Ed, and then the hard work of Troy Siebels, who you're going to hear from next. Worcester is undergoing a phenomenal rebirth right now. It's a city that had its kind of heyday back in the 50s when National Geographic had it as the cover story of the cities that make America, and they used Worcester as that highlight. And that was based on its manufacturing prowess, the factories that were producing materials that were used throughout the world. With the decline of manufacturing here in the United States, its movement overseas, Worcester suffered that loss, and its downtown suffered that loss as people moved outside the city to other areas. Now, over the last 10, 15 years, we've seen an incredible rebirth as the new industries of the United States and of Massachusetts have taken hold. Biotechnology, higher education, those that are a more solid mainstay, ones such as our colleges and universities, over 10 here within the city itself, that make up a very strong part of our economy. Over 40% of Worcester's employment is in educational and medical fields. So we have a very strong component that's in really grounded institutions here within the city. Our focus now is building on all of those institutions, building on the professional services, building on the manufacturing that's still here. We're still a major manufacturer. Worcester makes the horseshoes that are played around the world. Saint-Gobain Abrasives is an important part of the defense industry and the abrasives. Wyman Gordon continues to make parts for airplanes throughout the world. But we're looking at the discoveries coming out of UMass Medical School and the Biotech Research Park. We're looking at the ideas coming out of Worcester Polytech and Gateway Park. And we're looking to craft a plan that brings those investments, brings those exciting new discoveries into the downtown and makes them an important part of our central economy. The strength of Worcester is that it has assets spread out throughout the city. If you look at a map of Worcester, the colleges and universities go throughout our neighborhoods. We have very strong neighborhoods that are thriving. We want to bring that connection into the downtown and build on it, and this theater is an important part of that. Over the last 10 years, we've seen some major investments in our downtown, the Hanover Theater being one, a new regional justice center on Main Street, just down the street. The improvements at Gateway Park. Gateway Park is a multi-million-dollar effort between Worcester Polytechnic Institute and Worcester Business Development Corporation to reclaim a brownfield and bring new biotech and bioengineering activities into Worcester. WPI has one of the best robotics programs in the country, and both WPI and Becker have top 10 video gaming industry programs in the country. So we're seeing these new age technologies take hold and root in here within the city of Worcester. City Square, which was mentioned before, which is an important part of the downtown transformation. It's a $580 million project that will break down the former Worcester Galleria, the former Worcester Mall, and build new street urban activity and opportunity, commercial, residential, retail. That project is well underway. The abatement and demolition of the mall is beginning. There are two major tenants moving in. Unum Insurance is taking over 200,000 square feet, and Vanguard, St. Vincent Hospital, which was shown in a picture in the presentation, is moving in to build a 40,000 square foot cancer center. So we're seeing that development happen. In a time when the economy is struggling nationwide, Worcester has a number of buildings going in. Both City Square, Gateway Park has a 90,000 square foot building going in under construction right now. And another project you may have heard of, the CSX expansion. With CSX relocation out of Boston, they're in the midst of expanding here within the city of Worcester, opening up additional commuter rail traffic. The state is committed to putting in more commuter rail trains between Worcester and Boston, 20 additional trains over the next 5 years. So that's a significant increase and a significant connection between Worcester and Boston and all points east. That is what we're building on. We recognize that the importance of downtown, the value of downtown is the pedestrian environment, it's the transportation component, and that's what we're looking to develop to the next level. It was mentioned earlier, our partnership between the city and Worcester Business Development Corporation. It is a 30-acre project area where we're looking at doing master planning for this area. We're looking at targeted investment in certain properties to make those properties move, to bring new vitality. And again, the key being on pedestrian activity. How do we take the retail that was absorbed into the mall back during the urban renewal days and put it back on the street, put it back on Main Street, put it back in this area? And Federal Square is a key component of that plan and that effort. The partnership is focused on what we call the theater district, including the Hanover Theater, built on, in reality, the Hanover Theater. But it also looks at the expansion of these efforts into the residential opportunities undergoing Mayo Group. Just one block down has got 70 units of new housing under construction. They've built hundreds of units over the last 5 years, right adjacent to this theater. All of those new residents are out walking our streets, getting involved in the city, making a presence in the downtown. It's also a key place where Mass College of Pharmacy students are headed. If you go just on the other side of Worcester Common, just on the other edge of the partnership area, Mass College of Pharmacy has expanded. They own an entire city block, plus additional parcels across. They look to go from about 700 students currently to 2,000 students over the next 2 years. So we're going to see a major change in the demographic of downtown. And one of the neat things about that project and that program is you see people in white lab coats walking wherever you go. They have to wear the white lab coats around, and it brings a new character to what you see on the streets every day. So this area is a key part of our efforts to grow the downtown, to build on the pedestrian core, to take advantage of the new commuter rail activities at Union Station. If you've seen the Union Station renovation, it was mentioned that this theater is one of the 47th best theaters, 46 in the world. Well, I can top that. Union Station was labeled one of the top 10 public transportation centers in the world in terms of the beauty of the structure and what it does. So there are some incredible assets that we're looking to build on. That project with the City Square connection of Front Street right through, that project will be a 5-minute walk from where we're standing right now. So that's an important piece of this change that we see going on in the downtown. And as all of our various institutions, the colleges, the universities, the medical institutions, as St. Vincent expands, those are the people we look to see coming in on the streets, walking about our downtown, taking advantage of the opportunities that you're here, coming to this theater, and drawing people in from the surrounding area. That's one of the keys. Worcester is the second largest city in New England. It's something that often surprises people. But population-wise, we're larger than Hartford, we're larger than Providence, we're the second largest city in New England. But importantly, we have over 6 million people within an hour's drive. So there's a major market from which we can draw. Because if you think of Boston, half of Boston is the ocean, the other half of it's urban area. Whereas Worcester captures Boston, we capture Hartford, we capture Providence, all within a 1-hour drive. So we're very accessible, very easy to get to. We can draw people in, and this theater has proven that. With 80% of the folks coming in from out of town, that shows that Worcester is a place that can draw people in and build on these successes. So as we go forward from the city perspective, our goal is to take the projects like the Hanover Theater, take these investments that we're working with, and leverage them into future growth. And that means working on streets and sidewalks, bringing them back into shape. It was mentioned about the Canal District. There's a $7.2 million project underway down in the Canal District to rebuild the streets and sidewalks. We're looking to expand with a $20 million city initiative to do streets and sidewalks in the neighborhoods in the downtown, including Main Street right out front here. We just recently completed a renovation of Portland Street, 1 block down on the backside. So we see some major things going on in this area, and we look to capture that and build upon it. We have a $1.6 million plan in place for the renovation of Federal Square as we see the growth going on around Federal Square and new development happening. So there's a considerable amount of activity going on in Worcester. This area, the Federal Square area and this theater and the adjacent buildings are the crux of that and will benefit incredibly from all the growth that we see. And as Worcester starts to become that, as we like to say, smart city, smart choice, as people realize the talent and level of professionalism and education here within the city. All of these organizations, all of these opportunities are going to be developed. Our cultural organizations are going to benefit, the Hanover Theater is going to benefit, and as we see it, all of the properties around them will benefit. So I definitely encourage you to take a good look at Worcester, take a good look at what's being presented here tonight, because it really is true that Worcester